Hey guys, your boy Sean Bellamy, back with you another Philly Eagles Talk episode. I just got done recording and uploading to you guys my thoughts, my rant on the Eagles losing their first game of the year to the New York Jets. I did tell you guys during that video I was going to make a separate video to give you guys my thoughts and maybe a little rant on the offensive coordinator, and I'm going to do that right now actually. The Philadelphia Eagles offense coordinator Brian Johnson sucks. I know people are going to say, Sean, this is his first year and everything like that. But I don't like dude as far as from a fan standpoint. I think he's god awful. I think he just doesn't know what he's doing out there, calling plays with this much talent that he has on the team. Brian Johnson's philosophy, it makes me laugh inside because I think about it and then I say to myself, what philosophy? And I'm guessing if we had to come up with maybe what his game plan or what is in his mind, it has to be pass heavy. That he believes because he has Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, who we all believe is a good quarterback. He has this great offensive line, when healthy, top 5 in the league, argue top 3, probably argue the best offensive line in the league. You have A.J. Brown, one of the top 10 wide receivers in the game. Devontae Smith, one of the top 10 wide receivers in the game. And Dallas Goedert, one of the top 5 tight ends in the game. When you have all this talent as a coordinator for this offense, I really feel like he believes that we can do anything we want. Like it's all going to be positive from here on out. And yes, as a fan, as myself, I do believe the Eagles have tons of talent on offense. But it takes a coordinator or a coach in this sense to put it together, to have these players prepared and have a game plan when you go out against a specific opponent. Sometimes you have to adapt to the situation. You may be a pass-heavy team or a run-heavy team, but sometimes when you play against a certain opponent and that certain style or game plan you came in with is not working, you have to be able to adapt like this. You got to be able to turn on and be, listen, we could beat you in a number of ways with no problem. And as a coordinator, you're supposed to put your team in the best position to do that. Brian Johnson does not do that. I believe the Eagles' 5-0 start coming into this game against the Jets was because, in spite of Brian Johnson, I think they won based off their talent because they can beat you in a number of ways. But their offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, does not put them in the best situations to win. He is stupid pass heavy. It's like on 1st and 10, he has to always have Jalen drop back and do some type of play action, play action, and look for some bomb home run down the field on the first play. He doesn't like using his running backs. I can't tell how many times I've screamed at the TV to the point where my girl had to tell me, babe, relax, because this dude has DeAndre Swift on the team who Howie Roseman brought in a trade from Detroit. DeAndre Swift is a very, very, very good running back, especially when he's healthy. And we all had this idea in our minds, when you put him behind this offensive line, he's going to get loose. He's going to have one of his best seasons probably as a pro. And at this time, he was leading up to this game. He was averaging like 5-6 yards a carry. He can make guys miss. He's shifty. He got a little bit of power in him. He is the Eagles' clear running back 1. I have gone on record numerous times and have said that the Eagles should be giving DeAndre Swift the ball at least 18 to 25 times a game running alone. You could maybe run a screen here and there with him, but there is no doubt in my mind he should have the ball at least 20 times in his hands on the ground. I don't care if a defense is ready for it. Give the man the ball and watch him go to work. There's been numerous times already through this season where he has shown you give him the ball and watch him work behind this offensive line. But no, Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator Brian Johnson does not believe in that. He believes in just having Jalen Hurts drop back and throw the ball 35, 40 times. Not saying Jalen can't do it. I think Jalen's a really good quarterback, especially when you give him time in the pocket. He didn't do well today or tonight, but still, you know what I mean. The point is, the Eagles are better when they are balanced. Like, I'm pretty sure any team in the league is, but they are way better when they're balanced. When you're not telling the Eagles, and putting it all on Jalen Hurts' shoulders to throw the ball 40, 42 times, whatever a game, the Eagles do very well. Keep it balanced. Maybe 30 runs here, 25 passes here, maybe 30 passes, maybe 25 runs. That's what it should be happening. But what's happening when we do run the ball and we're not giving it to DeAndre Swift or Kenneth Gainwell or the other running backs we have, he's calling run plays for Jalen Hurts. This idiot, Brian Johnson, the Eagles offensive coordinator, is running these called quarterback runs. They're design runs. Jalen drops back for a second and then immediately goes right up the middle and tries to make guys miss to get like 4 or 5 yards, maybe a first down. It's so annoying because what we've heard coming into the season and what Jalen has said also this season is they're trying to take care of him and, not put him in harm's way. But why are you saying that if you're calling majority of the plays, of run plays, is him running the football? When you clearly have a running back in DeAndre Swift, maybe throwing Kenneth Gainswell in there a little bit, excuse me, where you clearly could run the ball behind this offensive line. Keep the defenses honest. But this clown, Brian Johnson, refuses to do that. We are in week 6, and it showed tonight. I just gave you guys my rant on the Eagles and Jets game just a second ago. We have seen tonight that he still has no clue. He still has no idea what the game plan is when he goes into these games. The Eagles was going up against the Jets, who had 2 of their top corners, Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, out this game. So some people might say, well, Sean, on paper, that makes sense if the Eagles try to air the Jets out because they're playing with a bunch of practice squad backup corners. No, you could air it out a little, but you should still keep it balanced. Keep the Jets defense honest, because if you also do your homework, you see the Jets run defense is not good. You could have opened the entire playbook on this team. But no, and no disrespect to the Jets, I think they play very hard and they got a really good defense, especially when they're healthy. But you definitely don't just go in and think you're going to air out a team just because they're missing their 2 top corners. It's not what's going to happen. You got to keep them on their toes. Instead of dropping Jalen back like I think he did 40 times today. And it didn't work out. It's week 6. And I was hoping, and a lot of Eagles fans hoping, that by now, coming up to this schedule, because I got it pulled up here on my phone. Because this schedule, I hope y'all had fun, is basically what I'm saying. I had fun for a while, but this shit's about to get serious. It's about to get real serious. It's like, this schedule is brutal. We already knew this. But I really thought by the time we got to going against Miami next week on Sunday night primetime in Lincoln Financial Field, brotherly love, Philadelphia, I thought by then we would have our offense sort of figured out. I know every play is not going to be 10, 15 yards positive here, and here. But I thought at first we would have it figured out at some point. We still don't. This dude, Brian Johnson, as offensive coordinator, needs to be relieved of his duties very quickly, or Nick Sirianni needs to do something. Help take over the play calling, because we are about to start going up against teams that can put points on the board. And do you think, as an Eagles fan, because I sure as hell don't, I do not think we're ready to do shootouts with these other teams, especially if our defense is not on their best game. We're not there. We're not there. So there's a schedule. Before I keep going in on Brian Johnson. Our offense is going up against, in a shootout again next week, we're going up against Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins got Tua Tagovailoa, who's playing like MVP candidate. They also have Jalen Waddle. They also have Tyreek Hill. They also have, I like their other dude, Barrios. I like their running back, Mozart. They have tons of talent. They just added Chase Claypool, who they're going to probably throw in here and there. He's a solid wide receiver when he plays hard. They have tons of talent. They got tons of talent across offense. So are we going to be able to keep up with them in the shootout? Not the way our offense coordinator is calling these games. Because also, before I go any further with the schedule, red zone. When we get in the red zone, I should have said this earlier, he's a clown. He has no idea. Brian Johnson, offensive coordinator, has no idea what to do when the Eagles get to the red zone. The play calling becomes so dead and stale and just lifeless. I can't really say much else about it. I want to pull my hair out when I see the Philadelphia Eagles get to the red zone. Because when they get to the red zone, they have no idea what they want to do. It's a bunch of quarterback design runs like he likes to call for Jalen Hurts. Doesn't go nowhere. He likes to run these simple run plays with no creativity behind it. Goes nowhere. Pass plays with no way to get guys open. Doesn't go nowhere. It's completely dead when the Eagles get to the red zone under Brian Johnson this year. The Eagles are near dead last in the league when you talk about red zone touchdown percentage. When last year we was third behind Shane, who was our former offensive coordinator, who now is a coach over in Indianapolis. We miss you, Shane, because clearly that was a big thing having him as our coordinator. He should be on the hot seat. Again, I know people saying it may be too early to go like this at an offensive coordinator who just started this year, but this is not a rebuild year. This is not a year where the Eagles need to keep playing this we'll figure it out type game. You have just came back from the Super Bowl. Our goal is to go to the Super Bowl. We do not clearly, we do not have the luxury of waiting for us to figure it out when this schedule is getting the way it is. Despite all the injuries that the defense has suffered and everything like that, and I have gone on in the defense about the soft coverage at times, you cannot put these losses or the way this team has looked on the defense all the time. It has been clearly the offense's fault, and it starts with Brian Johnson. He's awful, man. He should be replaced immediately because we should be in that. We're not tolerating this stuff, man. We're not tolerating the bullshit. You need to be ready. You need to be set. By now, against the Dolphins, we should already have a clear identity what this offense is going to be and what we should trust that he's willing to do. DeAndre Swift having 8 carries, less than that is terrible. Telling Jalen Hurts to keep dropping back 45 times, it's terrible. To not run the ball or at least mix it up or not have a game plan for the red zone, it's terrible. We look average out there with all that talent. So then we got the Dolphins, like I said. They're on the road against Washington. Then we got the Cowboys. And regardless of what people say at the Cowboys, again, their defense is very good. If our offense is not scoring, you know, we're going to be in a shootout with Dallas. You got Dallas after that. Then we got our bye week. Then this is where the schedule gets very, very hilariously crazy. You got the Chiefs, then the Bills, then the Niners, then the Cowboys, then the Seahawks. Chiefs, Bills, Niners, on the road against the Cowboys, on the road against the Seahawks. Those 3 games, Chiefs, Bills, Niners. And we still at this point are talking like that our offensive coordinator has no idea what he's doing. That's not scary to people. I hope y'all had fun. I was having fun. This is why that win against the Jets would have just been, it was awful to watch, and I would have still went in on this team. But at least you'll be 6-0. 5-1, and then this schedule, I hope we come out of this good, man. And again, I'm not saying the sky is falling or anything like that. I'm not saying the season's over. But the way he has been calling these games, I'm talking about offensive coordinator Brian Johnson for the Eagles, has not put no trust at this point that we're going to be ready by next week to go in a shootout with the freaking Dolphins or the Chiefs or Bills or Niners. Those are teams that can put up points. We're stuck, dude, with this guy that likes to call throws on first downs, refuse to give the ball to his running backs, get in the red zone, start having just lifeless, dead, stale play calls in the red zone. I'm tired of Brian Johnson, man. I really wish Nick Sirianni or someone would take over or sit this dude down like, yo, you got to clean this up. Because this is ridiculous, yo. It's week 6. And this, as a Super Bowl caliber team, you should not still be talking like, guys, we still have no idea what our identity is going to be. We still don't know what we are. All this talent. Are we a run team that setting up the pass? Or are we a pass team that... What are we? Because whatever he has this team, this offense, it's not it, man. It's not. There's no way you should feel inspired or happy seeing this offense go out there and shit the bed like they do. It seems like week by week. They pick it up at some point. You think, okay, guys, they're going up in the right direction. The projection's getting there. But they stop and immediately go back down. Awful is what Brian Johnson is, man. And I really think he should be replaced. We don't have time to wait for this shit to come together. When you talk about that gauntlet of a schedule. Especially when you're talking about last year, where the Eagles was last year at this time. Offense was clicking. You could not stop it because they had a game plan with Shane Steichen. If I said his name, I'm sorry, but they had a game plan with the offense coordinator we had before. This is why people have to understand. It's very important to have your offense as the players, but also with the staff. It has to be like this because clearly they're not on the same page still. There's no way Jalen and them should feel any type of comfortability with dude when you see the play calls he's calling. 6 weeks, dude. I thought by now we would have an idea of what we are as a offense. all this talent, and we still don't know. One of our big offensive linemen go down in Lane Johnson, and this clown, Brian Johnson, completely refuses to adapt. He wants to keep dropping Jalen Hurts back on long pass plays. When one of your top offensive linemen go down, you want to just keep dropping Jalen back with all these blitzes, all these guys coming at him. You want to keep dropping passes back instead of handing it off to DeAndre Swift and let him get some yards here and there. 3rd and 9 tonight. No, it's fourth quarter. 2 minutes left on the clock. The Eagles got the ball. 3rd and 9. You want to try to be cute and have Jalen drop the ball back. Threw a terrible interception, Jalen did. But you want to have him drop back and throw the ball instead of just running on 3rd and 9 and have the clock keep going down and try to have your punter pin Zach Wilson of all quarterbacks to the 10 and make him go down the field. Well, yes, the Jets needed was a field goal, but you don't think your team could at least held up for that? You think Zach Wilson's going to be... No, you want to have Jalen drop back and throw the ball. Like, this is the type of offensive coordinator that we're dealing with. He tries, excuse me, he tries to be too cute. He tries to outthink and try to outmaneuver every team and the defense coordinator is going up against. Instead of just keeping it simple. I'm telling you, the Eagles' offense would be so much better if we just kept it simple. Because you have seen throughout the weeks, if I go throughout the weeks, week by week, no matter if we're struggling or not, at some point our offense starts to get it because he doesn't rely on just one facet of the game. His main thing he loves to do is passing. And if instead of just mixing it up, I'm rambling, man. I'm done. Brian Johnson's awful, though. I hope I got to eat crow one day and come on to you and say, guys, I apologize. He's actually doing very well. He's awful right now. I have no idea how this offense is going to look next week against the Dolphins. Maybe this punching them out by the Jets and this humbled them. I don't know if the Eagles even needed to be humbled. I don't think Eagles was poking their chest out because they was 5-0. I don't know if we need to be humbled. But here we are. We're here next week against the Dolphins, and we're going to fuck around and find out if we come in there with another stale, dead, soulless offensive game plan. We're going to fuck around and find out we're dealing with this Dolphins fucking fire team of their offense that can put up 37 points in their sleep. It's ridiculous, yo. Chiefs, Bills, Niners. And we still haven't figured out what kind of offense what we want to be. Man, I'm out, you guys. Yeah, Brian Johnson, offensive coordinator, he sucks. I'm out. Peace.